Smiling, as seemingly imperturbable as ever, but the word was not good. The doctor said she had an infected wrist. You can see it's swollen, the hand there, and heavily bandaged, but they said that she would at least give it a try, and so she did. Her first event would be the uneven parallel bars. Everyone anxious to see if she could do it, but as it turned out, this would be only a token appearance.
It would be impossible to work the uneven bars on a wrist that is so painful like that. There's too much weight being put on it constantly.
Now, the reason she did that was to technically stay in the competition so she could go on to the next event, the balance beam, and try to help her team win the overall team title. She saw a mark here she had never seen before. She of the perfect tens got a mark of 0.00. But here, on the balance beam, her idea was to do an entire performance without using that wrist.
And she almost does it with mostly back saltos, back flips, and aerials. Right there, solid as a rock. And you would think, with as much pain as she was in, that it would dull her senses, but it didn't, and she did a magnificent job.
Now, the way the team championship works is there are 6 women on each team. Only 5 marks must be counted. As it turned out, if she had not performed here and performed well, Romania would not have won the team title because one of her teammates, a good one, Amelia Everly, had a terrible performance and got a mark way down in the 8s. It wouldn't have been good enough, but they didn't have to count it because of this performance.
Just saw aerial walk over into an aerial cartwheel, solid as a rock. This is the only pressure so far that she's had to put on her wrist, and it does hurt, I'm sure. There's another. Actually, she could put most of her weight on that right hand, and she didn't have to touch that left barely, just to keep her on balance.
A new mark of a champion for Nadia Comaneci. Doing it when you hurt bad.
Watch this. This must hurt a little. Double twist. Beautiful exercise.
A beautiful exercise, and she had done it. Made the difference to her team. Romania would go on to win the team championship, to take it away from the Russians for the first time with that mark of 9.95. She did not perform again, dropped out of the other competition, but it was good enough. Nadia Comaneci. There was the hand. Look, it's terribly swollen. And everyone hoping it will continue to get better over the weekend here. Now, someone in the stands, a little girl, called out just about at this point, "We still love you, Nadia." And this was her reaction. Just that tiny little smile, but the biggest one you'll ever see from her. Now, the Americans had their best moments really in the vault, didn't they? This was Kathy Johnson.
Yes, Kathy's made big improvement on this event in the past year with their layout Sukahara. Look at the height. Solid landing.
And that got her a 9.85. Everybody was good on this. Look at Krista Canary.
This is what Krista is one of our strongest vaulters. Handspring front salto with a half twist, and she really nailed it. Look at the height. She sure nailed it.
The mark she would get, as you will see, was 9.9. But from here on, the Americans had their problems. They sagged and eventually finished only 6th. The Russians had their problems all the way through, despite fine performances by their leader, Nellie Kim. But on this event, even Nellie had a problem.
She was secure throughout the competition this far, but the problem came on her double back. She didn't get quite enough rotation or height. And you'll see she touches her hands in the end to the floor. Right there.
And that and things like it did it. The Russians had lost, and this was the award. The team in white, Romania, the winner. Watch Coach Bela Karoyi, like a boxer, acknowledge victory here. There he is. And all his little tykes. But what tough little tykes they are. Particularly this one. Another chapter had been written in the Nadia Comaneci story. She would not win her world championship, but her country did. This was the moment for Americans in the team championship, however. Remember,